games draw crowd and attention. The games draw debate, arguments, and sometimes fight. This is because of the skills, the tackles, the goals, the saves, and even the tears. Emotions and passions are the heartbeat of the game. Be our partner on Sports Highlight every Monday at 8 p.m. on GTV Sports Plus and GTV for the whole package. Sports Highlight, your total ticket to the discussion.
Well, you're still here on GTV Sports Plus. Like I said, today we're going to be doing a bit of a personality and a bit of a conversation. We're going to be doing something on athletics. We're going to be doing some football, do some do's on Europe. But today we're going to be starting with a conversation concerning one of our brothers, Prince Maubrey. He's a Ghanaian sprint prospect who is hoping to make the grade for the Olympics. He's joined us in the studio, and we're going to be having a conversation, a brief one, on his career so far. Prince, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Great, and thank you for making time to come to our studio. I have your book, but to be honest, I've not been able to go through everything before the start of the program. If you can tell us who you are and how you got into the sport of athletics.
My name is Prince Maubrey. I am training for the 2024 Olympics. I've been an athlete most of my life, since about 5 or 6 years old. I was born in Germany. I was brought
to Ghanaian parents?
Yes, to both Ghanaian parents.
Okay.
And I was brought to Ghana at the age of 2, and I lived here until I was 5, and we were taken to the U.S.
Okay.
So I've been an athlete most of my...
so you got a couple of siblings, I guess?
Yes, I have a few siblings.
Okay, so born in Germany, making your way to Ghana, going to the States, schooling there from what I have seen here, choosing to go into sports and all of that. What drove you into athletics?
I've always wanted to be the best athlete in the world since I was a child. Always growing up watching other athletes.
Some inspiration from someone? Or no one in particular?
No one in particular, okay. Just the best in different sports, from track to basketball to football to soccer, European soccer. So I've always looked up to them as a child, and I wanted to inspire people as much as they inspired me. So I started with different types of sports, wrestling, football, American football, and now I'm only focused on track and field.
There's got to be that point where you say, okay, I'm not too sure I can go with this, but I can go with that. What was the turning point for you in deciding that of all the sporting disciplines that you could have possibly aligned yourself, you go with track and field?
With track and field, you have your destiny in your hands. As opposed to other sports, it's up to the coach or other teammates that kind of determines what time you're going to play and what you're going to do as far as your goals. But I realized a few years back that track and field is the most pure sport, that I can have my destiny in my hands and make my own future.
I know with where you're coming from. I mean, once you make it from, let's say, if you're good enough at high school level, you make it to, let's say, college level, you get to compete at the NCAA and all of that. Yeah. Has that been the case for you as well?
I went a different route. I went to university as a wrestler. Ooh. And I thought that I had a 90% scholarship with wrestling and my pre-med that I was going to become a doctor. I thought combined with my athletic and academic achievements, I would have a 90% scholarship. And the book talks about how I realized within the first few weeks that 90% scholarship wasn't there. And in essence, I turned to dealing drugs in college to pay for my school. I was so far away from my parents. In New Jersey, I had been admitted to Indiana University, and I turned to dealing drugs foolishly. And my story talks about how I went in a completely wrong direction, trying to achieve my dreams, trying to accomplish my goals, and you'll see the transformation through Christ.
The good thing is that at some points you were able to tell that you're going in the wrong direction,
Yes.
and then you decided to go on if you like, the right
Yes,
direction, in quotes there. What were the major issues you had to deal with? I mean, of all the things that you could have possibly done, there are other people who go through, if you like, very hard times, but
Yes.
would still want to do something else instead of drugs. So someone would say, I mean, was that the only option? Couldn't you have done something else?
I was 17 when I arrived into university. And at that age, the only thing I can think of is what I've seen on TV to make money. And I didn't have the wisdom that I have now to go into businesses or any other ventures to make money to pay tuition, which would be $100,000 for the 4 years, which is about $1 million cities for 4 years. So at 17, 18 years old, there was nothing that I can think of to make money, to actually pay for my school, to achieve my athletic goals and my academic goals, to become a doctor as well. So I foolishly turned into dealing drugs, and I continued in that direction for about a year, and I was caught. I was facing 60 years in jail, 60. And
Because you'd have probably turned 18 by that time.
I turned 18 within a few months of my freshman year. And so I was an adult. And an adult that's 18 years old facing 60 years in jail. And by the grace of Jesus Christ, my case was eventually dropped after 2.5 years of going back and forth to court, with them decreasing the 60 years to 50 years, from 50 to 40 to 30 to finally 10. And then they finally agreed to give me probation. I accepted it in the office, and they asked me to come downstairs to sign the paperwork. As I was walking downstairs with my parents to sign the paperwork, the Lord spoke to me, and he told me, not out loud, but in my heart, he told me, "You're forgiven already. Don't sign the paperwork. If you have to go to trial, you'll go to trial and you'll come out victorious. So don't sign the paperwork." And so we went downstairs. I told the prosecutors that I would take the paperwork home and think about it. And to make a longer story short, within about less than a year, I went back to court thinking that that's the date of the trial. And they told me that the case has been dropped fully.
Wow, that's a pretty interesting one. I'm sure I'll get to see the details when I get the opportunity to go through entirely after the program. But let's focus a bit more on your life after all of these ordeals and why you would want to put yourself out there in the sport and space. I mean, looking at your body frame, I would want to assume that you're pretty much into the sprints.
Yes, I'm a 100-meter sprinter training for Paris Olympics.
Okay, so I mean, trying to compete at the Olympics means that you're going to be coming up against God knows how many of the very best in the world. And even with that, you need to make a time to qualify and all of that. I mean, I don't know if at this point you've been in touch with, first of all, would you want to run in the name of Ghana?
I have triple citizenship. So
Okay.
I'm Ghanaian, US, and Germany. I would love to represent Ghana.
But have you made a decision on that?
No, I have maybe 2 more months to make a decision.
Yeah, because if you're going to decide to compete for Ghana, I'm sure the process you would have to go through to qualify for the Olympics,
Yes.
if you're going to go through with Germany, if you're going to go through
Yes.
with the US, because if you're going to do with the US, for example, then you'd have to perform at the trials
Yes.
that would select the very best to compete. I don't know what Ghana is going to do. I don't know what Germany is going to do.
Yes.
So I'm sure at that point they would decide. But do all of these things play on your mind that, for example, if you want to compete in the name of the states, then you're coming up against, if you like, some of the very best?
Actually, my teammate is Fred Curley in Miami.
Okay.
So he won the 100-meter last year, and he placed second in the previous Olympics. I have the best coach in the world as far as Coach Joey Scott, who's trained him and trained me for the last few years. So what I do is I just learn. I continue to learn and listen because he's already proved his method works to get you to number one. And I also have a great coach, Coach Amuzu here in Ghana, that I've been working with for the last 8 years plus. So when I come to Ghana, I have the best coach. And when I go to the US, I have the best coach. So I'm just fortunate and blessed to be able to learn. And I've just been getting faster and faster since I've started focusing on only track and field.
The Olympics is going to be plus or minus about a year from now.
Yes.
Year of plus or minus about a year from now
Yes.
to, if you like, make the grade.
Yes.
Just because you live in the States, I would just want to focus a bit more on that and probably dovetail into Ghana and Germany as well. Because then again, I mean, it's not just a case of training with, if you like, the very best coach or having the very best teammates. You need to make the time.
Yes.
I don't know the times you've been making as we speak.
Yes.
Are your times in a position that would give you the confidence to say, I know I can beat maybe Kelly, I know I can beat Bromell, maybe I can beat Noah Lyles, or I can beat any of these guys to make it to the US team? Or you'd say, okay, because of my times, I'm not too sure about these guys, so let me try Ghana, let me try Germany.
To be honest, for me, which country I represent is not my major focus. My major focus is getting to the world record and getting a gold medal. So I've been able to block out so many thoughts for the past few years because my focus has only been getting my time as fast as possible. So if you do,
what's the best time you've made?
10:7. So the fastest time last year by Fred was 9:7. So believe it or not, when I first started from wrestling to track and field, I was running 14 seconds. And
so you were improving all the time.
Yes. So I had the faith that I was chosen to run fast, and I went from 14 to 13 to 12 to 11 and 10. So my trajectory is going in the right way, and you just have to stay focused and block away every other noise, every other negative voice, and you can do it. Anyone can do it.
Well, nothing is impossible. I believe in everything being possible. I just hope that between as in today being the 14th of August 2023, the Olympics are going to be held somewhere around this time in the summer next year.
Yes.
I don't know when the trials and all of those things are going to be done with respect to the dates for all the three countries that I've mentioned. So in between today and that time, you've got a lot of work to do to make sure you make the grade. Yeah,
I'm definitely ready. As I mentioned to you before the show started, just 7 years ago I was diagnosed with cancer, and so for the last 7 years I've been training and getting faster with cancer and chemo, and I was just cured in February. So this is the first time in 7 years, even as I've been getting faster, this is the first time that I've been running without chemo and without cancer. And I can feel the difference since being here. And I know if it's my destiny to break a world record and get a gold medal, I just have to stay focused. And now I've been given a new lease on life to continue to do what I'm been doing.
Everything is only a matter of time.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see what the future holds. I like what you're wearing. Are you a royal or something?
Yes, I come from a royal family.
Here in Ghana?
Yes.
You've been to the place? You know the place?
Yes, both sides of my family, my father's side and my mother's side.
Where are they from?
My father, both of them are from Osu. So
that's just down the road.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So you speak Ghana?
And Ghana Jimmy.
That's fine. Yeah, because a lot of our brothers who are on the other side, when they come back home, there's a bit of a struggle with the language. So.
David, my kasi, more.
Well, you speak Ghana at home with your parents?
I try more. I try more to speak Ghana with them now that I'm coming back next year to stay. So my goal is to come back to stay next year and continue.
As in stay in Ghana?
Yes, to continue my career. And the Lord has given me a vision to become the first ruling king of Ghana since the colonization of the British. So I have a big task at hand, and it'll take a lot of work and it'll take a lot of support from the people.
Okay, so that's one of our own, the Maubrey. I mean, like you've heard the story. I mean, born in Germany, living here in Ghana, going back to the United States, pretty much going through a very tough moments there with drugs, going through illness as well, and now finding his way with the sport of athletics. Everything is possible from that story. And I'm sure for you watching us, if there have been moments where you find yourself on that very low level, or if you're down, on a Monday like this, there's a pretty inspiring story to encourage you to believe in everything, to believe that everything is possible, provided you're prepared to put in the work. And then only God knows what would happen tomorrow or the day after. So I would want to wish you the very best of life.
Thank you.
Good to see that you're physically okay now, and good to hear of such an inspiring story on a Monday morning. And whatever you choose to do from here, I wish you the very best.
Thank you. I hope to see you on top of the mountain.
Sure. So that's Prince Maubrey there, a Ghanaian who wants to get into sport and into other things of the course. We'll do a break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we return, Jerome and Jojo will be joining me as we have a conversation on other sporting subjects here in Ghana.